Oh, come on. Don't make it weird.
No, make it weird.
Oh, you want me to make it weird?
Yeah, like really weird.
Okay. I think I could get behind that. I'm Harmony.
And I'm Haley.
And this is
Make It Weird.
It would be funny to do that intense music with, like, I don't know, like...
With Fuzai's story. This dog. This child was assaulted by a dog for a sausage
A sausage.
at a festival.
Instead of assault. Assault. A sauce. Assage. I need to stop.
Hello.
Oh my Hello.
And welcome
To make
Sausaging
it
It Weird. The Sausage Party.
Oh man, the Sausage Party. Do you remember that movie?
I never watched it. Are
I
you
didn't
kidding?
watch it either. I just remember when it came out, Sausage Party. It was like, what the fuck is happening?
No, I worked at the mall when that came out, and I remember my ex went to the theaters and saw that movie in theaters.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It really does. It really does. Yep.
I definitely knew guys that they're like, oh, we're all gonna go see Sausage Party.
It looked really stupid. I was like, I'm not wasting my
It
time
looked like
nor
garbage,
my money.
and it probably was garbage.
I bet Seth Rogen was in it.
Absolutely. Do you think he made it? That was his movie.
I have no idea. That's slander. I shouldn't say that about Seth Rogen. People like him. They're gonna cancel me for saying.
He's great. Like, yeah.
I don't know anything about him.
I mean, I think he's. I guess I only know surface stuff about him, minus the fact that he laughs like. That wasn't a very good Seth Rogen impression at all.
He does have a very distinct laugh, though.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
really
Though,
does.
like if you hear it out of anyone else's laugh, you're like, oh, Seth Rogen's here right now.
Yeah, no, Casey and I have been watching this show Invincible on Amazon. It's like an animated superhero show. Listen, but there's not a lot to do when you're stuck in a hotel for 3 months, okay? But Seth Rogen played a character in it, and I was just like, huh? Like it was like whiplash. It was crazy, but
Didn't he also voice somebody in the live action Lion King?
I haven't.
I feel like he did.
That's an awful choice for that. I don't like that.
Oh no, I need to check if I'm wrong, because that would be really funny if I thought that was. I
mean,
thing.
who? Maybe Pumbaa.
Yeah, I think that's who it was. Seth Rogen.
Why are we doing live action remakes of Disney shit anyway? We don't need
it's
that.
so bad. Have you seen what they're gonna do with Lilo and Stitch?
No,
It's
I've
horrifying.
been getting ads for it though. Do you want to go see it?
Yes, he was. I was right.
Who was Timon?
What's his name? Craig from Parks and Rec. You know what I'm talking about? Billy on the Street. Billy Eichner. That's who it was.
Billy on the Street?
You never watched Billy on the Street?
No.
Ma'am, for $1, name a woman.
Oh, that guy, yes.
Yeah. And he's Craig in Parks and Rec, where he's talking to Donna. It's like he's only in like the last couple of seasons or something, and he's like really intense. And he's like, I need to go take a nap for 20 minutes. No, an hour, a full hour. You know what I'm talking about? No. Oh,
No,
man.
it's honestly been a long time since I've watched Parks and Rec, and I usually skip like the last season.
Oh,
the last
man.
season specifically makes me cry.
It is very it's sad for it to end, and it's a good ending season because a lot of shows like that go on for so long, they don't always cap it well, and that one was done very well. Yeah, it was really good. Yeah,
but all my friends left. You know, I really felt like all my friends were going away when I finished that show.
Yeah, that show is very heartfelt for me because it's a great show, but also when Bobby and I first started talking, like before we were even dating, we were literally just like texting.
Yeah.
He was like, oh my God, you need to watch Parks and Rec.
Aww.
And I was working in Georgia and he was in South Carolina, and we were just texting at the time, and I just started watching it, and like I would text him updates and stuff. And so I associate very much like the first time we started dating with that show. And then like
really
we had something
sweet.
to talk about and everything. And yeah, so when it ended, it was the same kind of thing. It was just like, ugh.
Oh, I just watched it on my own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was technically watching it on my own. He had already seen it. He was just like, you should really watch this. You'll love it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was very sweet.
Did you like it?
No, it was horrible. I've only seen it 20 times since.
I think I've only seen it a couple of times. I will say, for some reason, I keep rewatching Community. That's kind of been my I gotta rewatch
There's so many episodes.
Oh, there's
of
so much.
Community.
It's ridiculous, and I just put it on and it just plays.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even always start at the beginning. Sometimes I'll just pick a random season and be like, we're watching the D&D episode now.
Yeah, well, when you have a show like that you binge, you kind of just like pick. For me, when I watch Friends, like I usually pick the seasons that I like the most and I start there. And there's ones that I don't like and I'll like just kind of skip those.
Yeah.
Same with New Girl. I do that with, because towards the end of New Girl, like they did a good job wrapping it up, but it's not as fun as like season 2 and 3. But yeah, like when you have your binge show, you know what parts you want to watch. I never finished Community, but I did really like it.
It's fun.
My favorite was the one where they do the slumber party, like in the college, and there's like a war.
Yeah, I know. It's the fucking blanket fort.
Yes.
No, the blanket fort one's great. The other episodes that's really great. The paintball episodes are fantastic. The D&D ones, one of them got taken down off a few different streaming services. I had to buy it on Amazon.
Yes.
They said that they were taking it down because of racial insensitivity, but the reason, what they pointed to, one of the characters dressed up as a drow, which is a dark elf.
And they were trying to say that it was blackface, right?
Right.
But it was the character, not...
The drow, just like literal black skin.
Yeah.
Like black or shades of gray. And so he dressed himself in like full...
And they gotta be
himself
safe at
full
that
black,
point,
yeah.
you know, like try to save themselves, I guess, but...
I don't know. I don't know enough if I can even... I can't say either way, you know? Whatever the cultural zeitgeist tells me is acceptable or not, I will follow suit for now.
I am not my own person. I don't make many decisions by myself. I just go by what the internet and social media tell me what to do.
The hive mind.
And that makes up my personality and my decisions throughout every day.
Precisely. That's the best way to operate, actually.
I think so. I truly do. Like, your opinions are not your own. Just take somebody else's.
If you told me that Butt Cheek Beach was a Mario Kart course, I'd believe you.
You know how when you're hanging with your buds and the conversation takes a nosedive into vehemently arguing things about fictional worlds that don't matter? Well, Debate This is a show that tries to recapture that magic.
The first time we meet Wario, I'm pretty sure, is in the second Mario Game Boy game, and I think his whole shtick is like, he's stealing shit.
That doesn't mean he's anti-union, Todd.
It's like 2 parts barroom debate, 1 part show and tell, and 1 part horrific thought experiment.
He is certainly not stealing from the rich and giving to the poor. If anything, Mario is a blue-collar worker, and he's stealing from Mario.
Mario is a centrist, and we all know that.
Mario is upholding the monarch estate of Mushroom Kingdom.
You cannot tell me that Wario is not anti-fascist. Find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever else you download podcasts.
Yeah, I'm gonna think about Wario being anti-fascist for a while. Go ahead, Todd.
So speaking of opinion,
Yeah.
who do we want to go first? Who, in your
I don't
opinion, should
care.
go first?
Mine is like kind of lighthearted, very far back in history.
Oh, mine's not, and it's from the 80s.
Okay. I'll go first.
Okay.
I don't know if it matters.
I don't think it really matters.
I mean, if we want to end on a high note, we can end on mine, but I don't know. It doesn't matter.
who cares?
Who
cares?
Who cares? We're from Boston and Jersey. I don't know. They're mixed up.
I'm from Newark.
Oh, okay.
Walked off the job.
Walked off the job at
Hey,
the air
yo.
traffic control room.
I'm walking here.
Walking right off the job.
Right in front of the planes.
End it now for me.
Huh?
End it now for me.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know what I thought you were saying. What? Mike Tyson? Hello? New Jersey, Mike Tyson? What happened there? Oh my God, I got possessed. I'm so sorry.
That was the best accent you've ever done. All right.
All right.
Okay, let's go.
Let's go.
Ready? Okay. Give me a B.
B. It's a B. What's up?
Give me an A. I don't know what I'm going to spell. Give me a R.
I'll stick my leg up.
Give me an F. What does that spell?
Barf. For people that aren't watching, I'm a cheerleader now.
It's so true. It's honestly the best cheerleading I've ever seen. Have you considered being a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader?
No.
You
The rigorous
should.
standards, I far exceed those. I don't need them to,
You're not wrong
to reassure me.
that you're a good cheerleader.
I'm the
Yeah.
best cheerleader.
Speaking of cheerleaders.
Yeah.
No.
Oh. Oh. Well, what do we do? Yes, no?
All right, so I know you've only seen it like once, but you're the outlier here because everyone's seen it a million times. So in the iconic Halloween movie, Hocus Pocus,
Mid.
get the fuck out of here. Everyone's gonna burn us down. All right, so there's that iconic scene where all the Salem parents are dancing in the town hall at the Halloween party. And of course, the Sanderson sisters show up. They're trying to chase the kiddos. And Bette Midler performs the iconic Put a Spell on You song with her sisters. Everybody knows this. If you don't, I mean, I don't know, die? Like, yeah. And as they're ending the song, she does actually put a spell on all the partygoers, and she says, "Dance, dance, dance until you die!"
Oh, I know what you're going to talk about.
And the adults literally cannot stop dancing. All right. So what if I told you that in the early 1500s in France, or as it was called at the time, Strasbourg, Alsace,
Uh-huh.
I said that perfectly, don't look it up. There was an actual epidemic where this very thing happened. People danced until they died.
Yeah, that's how I want to go out.
Exactly. That's how everyone should want to go out.
Lady Gaga said just dance, but she never said to stop.
Exactly. And we've been dancing ever since. Yeah. Get it. Uh-huh. That's really good. It's really good. It's really good. Fuck. She's on the floor. She's on the floor.
Okay. Anyway. Continue.
Ready? That's right. Today I'm going to talk about the dancing plague of 1518.
This was literally on my list, and now I have to erase it.
I've taken two from your list. I'm
Oh.
actually really proud of this because usually the things I pick are not on Haley's list, so it's a big deal for me.
My list is like 50 to 100 items deep, dude. There's a lot of stuff on there.
My list is so small and it's not very good. Incredible.
Unlike that burp, which was large and very good. Please take that out of there.
No.
Oh, God.
All right, so in July of 1518, on a particularly sweltering summer day, a woman whose name was Frau, which means Mrs. Frau Trophea. Trophea? Trophea.
I like Frau Trophea.
Frau Trophea.
Okay.
Sounds like a nice, like, kind of coffee or something.
Yeah, or like a nice, like
Like a chocolatey
Cocktail.
truffle or a cocktail. Yeah. Or like a kind of mushroom. Lots of options here.
oh, yeah.
Anyways, so Frau Trophea stepped into the street and began dancing. There was no music, no rhyme or reason as to why she began dancing, but she simply just began shaking what the good Lord gave her.
Thank God.
But she was dancing rather maniacally and erratically, and it became apparent soon enough to those watching her that she wasn't just dancing for fun, but that she could not stop.
And it wasn't like a seizure?
No, allegedly, well, I mean, it's 1518, you know, take what you can.
I feel like they'd had seizures back then.
No, I just mean, like, the records are not so
Oh,
good.
well, yeah.
Cueing Miley Cyrus says, "Can't stop, won't stop." Frau Trophea danced like that for a week, oftentimes collapsing from exhaustion, but resuming her dance after she'd had time to rest.
Is she eaten?
I don't think
Are
so.
they feeding her?
I mean, how?
I don't know.
Just like
fucking-
toss some soup at her?
Yeah.
Yeah. Some bread. I mean, I guess 1518, what are we eating? Just like bread and meat?
Maggoty bread,
Yeah.
cheese, maggoty
Pork.
meat.
Yeah. Just maggots in general.
Yeah, maggoty soup.
That'd probably be a good protein source.
Maggots?
Mm-hmm.
One day I'm going to talk about crickets.
And cricket protein powder?
Yes.
I can't wait.
Oh my God, do you remember when I fucking found the cricket snacks and it was like great for parties?
I remember there was a time when I legitimately thought you were going to buy cricket protein powder. You seemed kind of close to doing it.
I know, I wouldn't. I have a lot of research set aside for sustainable food,
Uh-huh.
including iguana tails, which I will.
Oh.
No!
We don't want to eat those. But crickets, I mean, they could save the world someday.
They really could. They're actually some of the most efficient processors of energy.
Yeah. Anyways,
We shouldn't talk about this right now.
let's just open up another subject.
Yeah.
Ad hoc.
Where are we adding a hawk?
Oh, man. You can't put good jokes in there when I'm burping.
Where's the hawk?
Now I have to leave the burp in there.
Take it out.
All right, so It's said that in a couple of sources that they allegedly brought out musicians at one point to provide her with music,
I mean, what else are you supposed to
which
do?
I find so funny. Like, this girl can't stop dancing. We might as well give her something to dance to, I guess.
Well, it's like when you have those dogs that like are itching their butts on stuff.
Yeah, and it looks like they're dancing.
Yeah, people add music to that. It's the exact
It's
same
really
thing. It's
cute.
1528's version of TikTok.
Literally. Soon, others began to join her. At one point, 3 dozen others had started dancing with her. So we have a full dance floor now. It is a party, but not one that you really want to be at. It is not fun, carefree, joyous dancing. These people are obviously suffering. They are sweating profusely. God, I bet it smells so bad.
It's July too.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Oh,
It's hot.
man.
That's the smell there. I just can't even imagine. Do you think at that time when everything just smells so bad that you don't even notice it anymore?
I think that if somebody smells especially yucky,
you would notice.
you will. I mean, people still bathe usually about like once a week-ish.
Probably not poor people, but yeah.
I mean,
maybe.
you didn't have like running water, but like you'd have a bucket of water and like a little sponge bath or go
Like
into a
river
stream
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really interesting stuff you can find about self-care in those times. A lot of
Interesting.
documentation.
Is that what I'm missing? Like a 15, 18 self-care routine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't shampoo your hair anymore. Just take a fine-tooth comb, rub some dirt into your scalp, and then comb it all out.
Ooh, that's like nature's dry shampoo.
Exactly.
Dirt. I like
Yes.
that. Okay, and it's kind of the color of my hair, so I could just like vibe with it.
I would not describe your hair color as dirt.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Maybe more like clay.
Like a nice clay.
A nice clay. Nice
Yeah.
red dirt clay. Yeah. Okay. All right, so yes, like I said, they're sweating profusely. Their movements were described as spastic with convulsions. Their arms would thrash violently, and their eyes were noted as being vacant and expressionless.
Jeez.
Kind of creepy. Blood would pool around their swollen feet in their shoes. You could sometimes hear people crying out for help to be saved. I can't stop dancing! Help me!
I keep getting jiggy with it.
I can't stop twerking my ass!
I'm throwing it back too hard. Mother, help.
Mommy! So this type of behavior would later adopt a name called choreomania, which I think is a really fun term.
Yeah.
So
What does it mean?
choreomania. Choreographed mania.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Oh.
I mean, it's, you put the, choreography,
Yeah.
mania.
Like movement mania, maybe?
Manic choreoness. That's a technical term.
Thank you.
You're welcome. As time goes on, listen, don't ever expect me to do more research than is the bare minimum. That's what we're giving you here on Make It Weird. The bare minimum. Don't ask for anything more.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah, no, that's a lie, Haley. Research is for like 10 hours, and I'm like, 20 minutes? Check!
Well, I want to listen, man.
You do a
I have
great
to,
job researching.
I have to spend the same amount of time researching that you spend doing literally everything else for the podcast.
You're
That's
not
the
wrong.
only way to make it equal.
You're not wrong. All right, so as time goes on, more and more people are becoming afflicted with this dancing plague. By August, so we started this out in July, by August, somewhere around 400 people are said to have been taken ill by the death dance.
Jeez.
Yeah.
It's like
It's
a
a-
whole town.
I know, it's
All
crazy.
your fucking suitable suitors.
Out there suiting it up.
Yeah, suitably. Suitably shaking it down. I don't
In
know.
a suitable fashion. It's unfortunate Gloria Estefan wasn't around at this time to warn people that the rhythm is going to get you. I'm sorry.
Who's that?
Oh, come on. The rhythm's going to get you. I'm going to sing one song.
Oh! I was thinking the... I don't know that. The fucking...
Oh, now do I have the song wrong?
I don't know.
Oh, fuck. Now I got to look it up. Now I'm like, wait.
I think I was thinking of some Cher song. Rhythm is a dancer.
You know what word I can never spell correctly is rhythm.
Same. Oh, wow. I got it right. Rhythm is a dancer is by Snap. I spelled the word rhythm right is what I meant.
Oh, nice.
This song?
Uh-huh. Don't they say that later?
I've never heard this song before in my life.
Yes, you have. Wait for it. We're gonna listen to this whole song. Can you fast forward? No, say it.
Why is it so threatening?
Also, I might have gotten that wrong about the part that I just sang. That may not be from that song.
Yeah, I don't think it is. That's okay.
What is that song?
I don't know. I don't know. even know how to look that up.
I don't need it. Allegra. I'm saying the rhythm is gonna get you. All right. Anyways, that was my whole joke.
Okay. Thank you for explaining it. That made it. Now that I understand the joke, can you say it again and I'll laugh?
It's unfortunate Gloria Estefan wasn't around at this time to warn people that the rhythm is gonna get you.
Mama said, that sucks so. Oh, rhythm's gonna get ya.
Rhythm is gonna get you.
It's not a ooh. It's like a. It's gonna get
Rhythm
you.
is gonna get you.
Yeah, she's so intense when she sings
is.
it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out later that where the weird song that we're trying to think of comes from.
Anyway,
All right, and people are dying. It's
the rhythm got them.
that's just I just wrote it like that. I didn't think there would be such a long gap between these two things. It's said that as many as oh god, I'm gonna lose my voice. Ooh, stop toe kissing me. It's said that as many as 15 people per day are dying from this plague. People are literally having strokes and heart attacks mid-dance.
This is literally worse than like some battles.
Yeah, literally 15 a day.
Yeah,
That's a pretty high number for dancing.
You know what's worse than that though is Gettysburg.
Or 9/11.
No, I was told we can't make 9/11 jokes anymore.
By who?
I'm not saying who.
But
It's too soon.
but
Never forget, except we're going to repeal the Patriot Act. Anyway, that should have happened a while ago, but cut that all out. Cut it all
no,
out.
I refuse.
Great.
All right, so the dancing phenomenon lasted for such a long time that it even attracted the attention of the authorities until the council gave up authority to the physicians who prescribed the afflicted to, quote, dance themselves free of it. TLDR, gyrate until you dirate. Did you like that?
I did like that. I'm just like, yes, I am a doctor. My solution to the dancing phenomenon, dance it off.
As Bette Midler said, dance, dance, dance until you die. That's my prescription. Tear it off. Chic. There you go. Head to your local Walgreens.
CVS, yeah. This is a CVS household.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is a Walgreens household.
Oh,
Are we gonna
actually?
have to fight? Yeah.
Ew, I hate Walgreens.
Ew, I hate CVS.
That's fine.
Why are their receipts 12 million pages?
Why does Walgreens always look like that?
Why does CVS always look like that?
Because CVS is the
They
color.
look exactly the
They
same.
do, yeah. They look very similar. The only
both-
difference is Walgreens, I think, is green.
No,
and
they both
CVS
have
is-
red logos. Literally. They're both red.
Oh my god.
And they're always right next to each other.
They are.
And it's very rare that I don't find something at Walgreens that I can find at CVS or vice versa. Like,
Oh yeah, it's all the same.
one always has the thing I need.
Whatever happened to Rite Aid?
Oh, Rite Aid. Those still exist.
I don't know.
I think in the South. I think.
What about in France for their prescription?
Oh yeah, they definitely had a Rite Aid
Yeah?
right down the street. Right down the street. All right, gyrate till you dirate. But finally, in September of 1518, the deadly twerking disease was starting to subside, and less people were becoming afflicted with the need for dance. Could this have been stopped? Had this been foretold? 2 decades before the summer of 1518, a cleric in Strasbourg named Sebastian Brandt wrote in his satirical allegory, The Ship of Fools, quote, that dance and sin are one in kind, blaming Satan for all this, giddy dancing gaily done. Are we surprised that we're blaming Satan for this?
Of course not.
All right, so let's talk about choreomania or dancing mania, because this type of epidemic was actually recorded in writing more than once throughout medieval ages. More than once, like many times, actually. So, affecting thousands of people across several centuries, dancing mania was not an isolated event and was well documented in contemporary reports. It was nevertheless poorly understood, shocker, and remedies were based on guesswork, also shocker. Often musicians accompanied dancers due to a belief that music would treat the mania, but this tactic sometimes backfired by encouraging more to join in.
If I saw a group of people dancing in the street and there was music playing, I probably would also join in. For being really honest with you.
Yeah, like, I don't know, you get in on that.
Fuck yeah.
Like, that's the whole point of a club. Everyone else dancing, I'm like, I want to get in on that.
And then you just can't stop, and then it's been a month and you die.
Ugh, yeah, dance until you die.
Dance till you're dead.
Is that a song?
Yeah.
Dance till you're dead. It's not coming to me.
You get it? Is this what we're
Oh,
doing?
wait, is it dance, dance till you're dead? That one. Dance, dance till you're dead.
Yeah.
Ow.
Heads will roll by the
Yeah, okay. Got it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. What did we learn from Footloose?
I haven't seen Footloose.
Oh my fucking god. Anyways,
I'm sorry.
we learned that dancing is evil and bad and the work of
The
Satan.
devil.
Yes. You need to watch Can we watch Footloose together? It's such a ridiculous and wonderful movie. If you like Dirty Dancing, you'll like this.
Okay, yeah, we can watch it. I thought Dirty Dancing was fun. Dirty Dancing was really horny.
Oh, of course. It's called Dirty Dancing.
I know, but I just didn't expect it of its age to be so horny.
yeah. The horny, such a sexy movie. Are you kidding me?
And then there was the girl with the nose,
That girl with the nose, yeah.
who was also, she played the daughter
In
in...
Ferris Bueller.
What?
Yeah.
And she also played the girl in What's Eating Gilbert Grape.
Uh-huh.
And she played the daughter in National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Yes.
Which is what I was going to get at. And then she had a nose job and it ruined her career.
Does she actually have a nose job? Because I love her nose.
Yes.
Like in all the 80s movies. Yeah, no, she was in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. She was the sister. Ferris' sister.
Wow. I only saw the movie once.
Oh, interesting.
I was like 13.
That's a repeat movie for
Yeah,
me. I
really.
love that one. Yeah.
That's me with the Heathers. I love the Heathers.
I've only seen the Heathers once.
Wow.
Carmen, my mom's partner, loves the Heathers, and she was the reason I decided to watch it. And I'm not gonna lie, I finished it and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, that's kind of, yeah.
I was not expecting that. I didn't know that's where it was going. I thought it was gonna be like an 80s rom-com. Like,
Fuck no.
I
We're
was
going
like,
to blow up the school.
we're gonna blow up the school and kill everyone.
Yeah.
Okay, great. I should actually watch that again because I watched it like 12 years ago.
I'm down for it. Let me know. We'll do a little 80s movie marathon.
Footloose and that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Have you seen
Ferris
Pretty in
Bueller.
Pink?
Yes.
Have you seen 16 Candles?
No.
Okay, let's watch that one
Okay.
too. We'll do it the whole day.
We'll have to invite my mom. I can hear her screaming as she's listening to the podcast. Hi, Mom.
Have you seen Breakfast Club?
Yeah,
Okay, just making sure.
of course I have.
I'm just making sure.
Look at me. Of course I've seen Breakfast Club.
A classic. All right. In earlier centuries, these events were interpreted as divine punishment or demonic possession, remedied with religious solutions like processions, masses, or direct intervention from priests. The plague was also given the name St. Vitus Dance because allegedly affected individuals were cured if they touched churches storing St. Vitus's relics. It's kind of hard to confirm, but it seems like the arm or a bone from the arm of St. Vitus is supposedly still kept in Prague in the St. Vitus Cathedral.
That's this.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, that's the
I didn't
St. Vitus
realize-
Cathedral.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
I love the cathedral so much. Yes, he's
That's
the patron
one
saint
that
of
you
dancing,
visited,
I believe.
right?
It is, yeah.
Oh, that's really cool. It's not like out on display if it even exists. It would be like
Yeah.
down below, but allegedly some part of his arm exists. Yeah. Pretty cool. I didn't realize that. That's
Yeah.
very cool.
No, I saw that church and I wept like a little baby.
Yeah, I remember
Not
you
even
told
religious.
me.
Yeah.
We've talked about that on an episode about how churches like that can really just have that emotional response, but
Back on topic.
I'm trying.
No, it's me. I'm the problem.
I'm the problem. It's me. One of the articles I was reading mentioned the parallel seemingly between the popular Hans Christian Andersen fairy tale, The Red Shoes, with its cursed scarlet leather slippers that condemn their owner into a dance so torturous that she eventually finds an executioner to hack off her own feet. I'd never heard this fairy tale before.
I did not either. I thought when you said Hans Christian Andersen that it would be like about the Little Mermaid dancing until her fucking feet bled and she died or whatever. Because isn't that
I mean,
one
I
of
think
the...
that's kind of what this is. This one says it's called The Red Shoes, though.
Yeah, that seems like it'd be a different... I know there was some ending that I was told that like Ariel or the Little Mermaid like gets her feet and the prince says, "Fuck you, I don't want to marry you," and so she just dances until her feet bleed.
That's
yeah.
crazy. Interesting. Yeah, no, this one is something about like the red shoes in particular. Like when you put them on, you can't stop dancing. But TLDR, this kind of strange dancing phenomena can be found to have a lot of various cultural ties throughout history. Yeah, just many, many different places, like stories and different pieces of history. Yeah. So there was a similar epidemic documented in Italy called tarantism, in which the victims were said to have been poisoned by a tarantula or a scorpion. I found this part really interesting. Its earliest known outbreak was in the 13th century, and the only antidote known was to dance to particular music to separate the venom from the blood. As you do.
Did they say what kind of music?
No, I don't think so.
That's fine.
Oh, actually, yep. Okay, hang on. Not type of music, but the type of dancing. As with dancing mania, people would suddenly begin to dance. sometimes affected by a perceived bite or sting, and were joined by others who believed the venom from their own old bites was reactivated by the heat or the music.
Huh?
So dancers would perform a tarantella, which is a type of Italian folk dancing, accompanied by music that would eventually, quote, cure the victim, or at least temporarily.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Some participated in further activities such as tying themselves up with vines and whipping each other, kinky, pretending to sword fight, also kinky. Sorry. Drinking large amounts of wine. I'm sorry, this just sounds like a party.
It's they're having a party at that point. It's like a weird BDSM orgy.
Except for this last part, and jumping into the sea.
You can do that too. It's
Yeah,
fine.
you could. It'd just be the one time, though.
Yes.
Sufferers typically had symptoms resembling those of dancing mania, such as headaches, trembling, twitching, and visions.
Wow.
Yeah, so that part was really interesting to me. So, why did this happen? Short answer, not a fucking clue. Long answer, there's a bunch of different theories. One of the most popular theories is stress-induced mass hysteria. Because, to be honest, in the early 1500s, it was really fucking stressful.
Yeah.
Life was just stressful. Like,
They didn't even have the internet back then.
yeah, can you imagine? What did they do for fun?
Dance.
Starve.
Yeah, both.
The recurring waves of the Black Death, other natural disasters like floods or droughts, would have combined with the dawn of the Reformation to make for a great deal of uncertainty and challenge for the people of Europe during this time period. AKA, it's a wee bit stressful. But yeah, anyway, so this definitely could have been a weird way for people to relieve stress without realizing what they're doing,
Yeah.
or like not understanding that they need to communicate what they're going through, and so they kind of just start like having the jitters and just
It's
going
like
for it.
When I take Izzy for a walk and it's raining outside and we're stuck out there for 10 minutes because she won't poop, and then she comes back inside and she like bolts throughout the house.
Zooms.
Yeah, and
'Cause it
rubs
was
herself on
stressful.
everything.
Yeah.
Yes. I love
Bless-
my dog.
Bless that dog.
It's really cute when she
Oh
does it.
man, Copper pretty much every morning. For some reason, the bed is like action zone. So like he comes inside and jumps on the bed, and then it's like, oh fuck, I got the zoomies, and he is zooming around the bed in
Oh
his
my
little circles,
gosh.
and he's just losing it. All right, so another popular theory is ergot poisoning. So this was also known as St. Anthony's fire in the Middle Ages. During floods and damp periods, ergots were able to grow and affect rye and other crops. Ergotism is the effect of long-term ergot poisoning, traditionally due to the ingestion of the alkaloids produced by the Claviceps purpurea fungus that infects rye and other cereals, and more recently by the action of a number of ergoline-based drugs.
Well, you said other cereals? Are my Lucky Charms safe?
No.
Fuck.
Are you sure you don't have ergotism right now?
Oh my god, I've been hallucinating all day.
Have you been twitching a lot and like feeling
Yeah.
the need to just go for it?
That's
you know?
pretty normal though.
Yeah, okay. So maybe it's just your personality.
Maybe I need to get put down. Old Yeller style.
It might be time.
Yeah.
Let's take you out back real quick.
Okay.
This will be a solo podcast from this point forward. All right. So ergotism can cause hallucinations and convulsions, but it cannot account for the other strange behavior most commonly identified with dancing mania. So like convulsions and stuff, yes, but you can have a convulsion and not be dancing necessarily. I will have times when I'm super, super anxious. And like people do this, like you like tap your foot like crazy.
Yeah.
Or like for me, I kind of like am like clapping my hands together, or like I find something I like need to physically like play with my fingers.
Absolutely.
Like, so I could see how in the 1500s, when we don't know anything about science or health or any of this shit really, that we think we do, but we don't.
Yeah.
You don't know how to communicate properly with any of this stuff. You don't have like medicine and therapy and stuff. So like you get anxious as fuck because everybody's dying from all these different things and you don't know if you're gonna die, and you kind of just start like shaking it. And then everyone's also so afraid of like the devil and like possessions or whatever. So it's like anytime, like let's say you start feeling kind of twitchy, and then you're like, oh my god, it must be possession.
Yeah, that's
And
the
then-
only acceptable answer.
Right. So then you kind of just like go with it. It's basically like a placebo type thing.
Yeah.
Which I'm going to talk about. So some people also think this is an example of the nocebo effect, which I had never heard that word before. But it's basically someone becoming ill simply by expecting or anticipating that they may become ill. AKA me every day.
I was gonna say you after Bobby came down with the cold.
Literally.
Yeah.
I haven't actually been sick this whole time.
You've just been faking it.
I
You just didn't want to hang out with me. Valid.
I was gonna say what's the word? I can't think of it.
Manifested it.
I manifested a cold.
Hell yeah, you did.
All right, so people see someone dancing erotically, seemingly affected by this illness. Then you expect that you could catch that illness. Mm-hmm. So then you start feeling the effects of the illness, whether or not those were actually there before, maybe not so sure, but like then you feel it. I mean, that happens. Like, I don't know, like if someone around me has a stomach bug and then I feel like a little bit nauseous, I'm like, am I nauseous because I'm nervous?
Yep.
I don't know, but then I'm just going to keep getting more nauseous. And then it's like, am I sick? Like, I'm just going to keep rolling with it. Like,
well, that's definitely, there was a day where I had like a little bit of a cough at work, nothing crazy. And then Casey was like, whoa, hold up. And he like touched my throat. And he was like, oh, your fucking lymph nodes or whatever is down here. Your tonsils feel so swollen. And I was like, suddenly, very suddenly, like a fucking switch flipped. Everything hurts.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. You manifested it.
Oh, yeah. I made that shit happen. Just faking it till I make it.
Make it happen for yourself. Get a cold today.
Be a man.
Be a man, get a cold.
Yeah.
I love those videos. All right. So there's a slew of other theories, but it all boils down to we don't fucking know why these guys, I spelled no, N-O.
Incredible work today here on Make It Weird.
We don't fucking know why these guys were dancing their asses off. Oh my god.
It's okay.
Fun fact, Florence and the Machine's 5th album is called Dance Fever, and it has a song on it called Choreomania, which is inspired by this entire phenomenon.
I love Florence and the Machine,
Me
dude.
too.
She's so good.
So good. But that is the story of the dancing plague of 1518.
Thank you.
You're so welcome.
I love that story. There's a lot of really weird instances of weird hysterias like that around the world. Once you start getting into it, it's like, what the fuck is this?
Loosely tied to maybe to like the Salem witch trials and stuff.
The ergot poisoning?
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to show you some pictures.
Please.
Some really historically accurate pictures that were taken with a camera.
Yeah, we went back in time actually.
Yeah, and not drawn. I don't know, this first one like really cracks me up. So this oh, sorry, can you see?
Oh, I could see. She's got her hands down his pants.
No, she doesn't.
Yeah, she does.
No, he's holding her hand.
Oh, it looked like there's a... Okay, never mind. I'm sorry.
There is a weird... Like, they really thought about putting that bulge in there, though.
It's got a codpiece on.
Oh, my God. One of the... oh, yeah, he's got that, too. One of the headlines that I didn't choose for our mini was that a bunch of historians were apparently arguing about the number of penises in this really old, famous tapestry. Like...
Hell yeah.
Just insane. But yeah, anyway, so there's this first picture where there's some people carrying some instruments, and then there's like some women that are very much like in distress.
Yeah.
I guess they're dancing. I love the art style here. It's just very funny to me. And then we've got another one. It's kind of same thing, but it looks a lot more like scary.
Yeah, they're definitely contorted.
Yeah, and like people are almost like kind of holding them back a little bit. Like trying to restrain them. Yeah. Yeah, some great images. I'm gonna get those printed up and hang them in my house for sure. But yeah, anytime you feel like, as Gloria Estefan says, the rhythm is gonna get you, just beware. It could be the dancing plague.
1984 wasn't supposed to be a guidebook, but here we are.
If you think living in a dystopian hellscape is kind of scary, you're gonna love Band Camp, a comedy podcast where we read banned books and try to figure out why they were banned in the first place.
We've tackled Fahrenheit 451, Slaughterhouse 5, and now, because we're basically living in an Orwellian sequel, we're reading 1984.
Banning books isn't just stupid, it's dangerous, because when the facts get erased, the lies take over. And that's why we've got ourselves a fact-checking robot to help us separate the truth from what they call alternative facts.
New episodes drop every Tuesday and Thursday. Search Bandcamp, that's band with 2 N's, and start listening today, before they ban podcasts too.
All right, are you ready for my story?
I'm ready.
I would be surprised if you hadn't heard this story. It's a pretty interesting unsolved murder or
Okay.
possible suicide.
I'm excited.
Okay. On June 8th of 1989, Gordon Starchuk was jogging when he stumbled upon a terrifying scene. A young woman laid hogtied, dead in the yard of an abandoned house. A black nylon stocking was wrapped tightly around her neck, and she had a pinprick in the crook of her elbow. Close by, the fuel tank of the home read in hurried graffiti, "Some bitch died here." This is how the missing woman, Cindy James, was found 2 weeks after she was first reported missing. The RCMP recorded her death as a suicide. And for about 7 years before her death, she had been reporting a stalker to the police. You know this?
I do.
Okay.
I was gonna wait. I didn't know if you were gonna say more.
I've got like 30 more minutes of stuff to
Oh,
talk
okay.
about.
I didn't know if you wanted to do a little bit more.
It's okay.
Yes, I know this one. And you know what's funny is I genuinely thought about doing this one for this exact episode.
That's so funny.
Imagine if we had shown up with the same thing. This is one of my absolute favorite true crime stories. I've heard it on multiple podcasts, and it's so good. Yeah.
It's really crazy. And then depending on who you get it from, it's very different.
It is, absolutely.
Yeah. So we'll talk about it probably more towards the end.
Okay.
But like how we feel about it. Because I have feelings and I feel like we might
agree.
feel differently.
Okay.
All right.
I'm excited.
So Cindy was born in 1944 on June 12th. She had a relatively standard childhood, and she had like strict parents. But when she turned 18 in 1962, she moved to Vancouver and began studying to be a nurse.
Nice.
At the age of 21, Cindy met Roy Makepeace, a psychiatrist from South Africa. He was 18 years older than her, but obviously they must have been in love because they got married in 1966.
Wow. How old was she?
She was at that point,
20s?
yeah, like
She's in
mid-20s.
Schoolage?
Yeah,
College?
yeah.
Schoolage.
So 22
Okay.
when they got married.
Okay.
Oh yeah, literally the next sentence it talks about it. Yep. The family was uncomfortable with the relationship. He was 40 years old and she was 22,
Yeah, okay.
which is like, that's, how do you even relate to each other?
Yeah. But at the same time, this is the
60s.
60s?
Yeah.
That feels less weird at that time. So I'm surprised that they thought it was strange. But yes, I agree that is a little bit strange.
I think it's still kind of fucking weird. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, how do you relate? Like,
Yeah.
I would not be able to relate right now at my age of 32 to a 22-year-old.
Yeah,
like,
for sure. We have, I mean, I don't know. We have like a 22-year-old at work, but she's pretty like level-headed.
yeah.
But we're not dating.
Right.
We just talk about our finances
You'd
and
be at
budgets.
very, like, you're just at very different points in your
Exactly,
life. Like,
yeah.
it just seems like 40 years old, you're, like, settled. Like,
Yeah.
you're not doing anything crazy. 22, I was still like, who am I?
Yeah.
Like, I got no clue. Yeah.
Yeah, I just cannot fathom.
Yeah. Anyways.
But they stayed together for a really long time until 1982. But unfortunately, this marriage wasn't a really great one, and it seems like it's for the best that she left. She alleged that he was emotionally distant and engaged occasionally in physical abuse. She reported that Roy would threaten her, frequently speaking of murdering people with crossbows, and at one point, he threw a candy dish at Cindy's head. Ironically,
Crossbows.
yeah,
Okay,
right? Which
okay.
is like pretty,
It's one thing to threaten, like, I want to beat this guy up, but, like, I want to kill him with a crossbow?
right?
Okay.
You fucking Robert Hansen? Like, what are you doing? I'm pretty sure that's the guy that I'm thinking of. One
I
second.
don't know.
Robert Hansen. Yep, Robert Hansen. That's who I was thinking of. No, there was a guy on. You know, it's not even relevant. There's a guy that I met who looks just like this serial killer. Swear to God.
Same guy?
No. Ironically, all the while in this relationship, while he's fucking abusing his wife, he's providing medical care for children with behavioral issues.
Cute.
And it always kind of blows my mind, like, how different people can be at home versus at work. Like, I just
Yeah.
have a hard time kind of wrapping my head around the idea of a man who is caring for children medically, but meanwhile is being awful to his wife. Like,
Yeah, I agree. But at the same time, abusers tend to be really good at
yeah.
portraying a certain persona outside of
For sure.
for other people to see.
Yeah, and there's also this thing too where we see it, I shouldn't say a lot, but it is common that if a nurse or a doctor abuses their power, they will admit that they reach out to nursing and doctoring That's the clinical term.
Doctoring.
As like a profession because it gives them a sense of control over their patients.
That makes total sense.
Yeah, like those angels of death or whatever they call them, where the nurses are like killing people. Yeah, all that kind of stuff. It's always because.
Dude, yeah, I love those stories. There was the guy in Texas that was crazy, and then there was another one. They did a dramatized version of it that was actually a really good movie. Or
Yeah.
I think it was a series they did. Yeah, I love those.
Were you talking about the Dr. Death in Texas? The like spine
Dr.
surgeon?
Death, yeah.
That was an insane story.
Dude, and I had a friend that is a nurse that worked at one of his hospitals. I don't know if she knew him, but like she knew of him. Like, yeah, that thing was insane.
Anyway, 4 months after Cindy and Roy divorced, Cindy made her first report of harassment to the police. Began October 7th, 1982. An unknown caller began dialing Cindy, making violent and sexual comments towards her. Sometimes the caller would remain silent, the only sound being his heavy breathing. 1 week later, things escalated when an unknown individual broke into Cindy's house using a rock to smash the back window to gain entry.
Oh my God.
They took nothing.
That's almost scarier than taking something.
I know, right? Like if somebody takes something that you can at least be like, okay, well.
They just wanted something.
Yeah. There's for when I was reading about that, for some reason it made me think about there's this movie, it's a found footage style movie called The Poughkeepsie Tapes. I don't know if I'd recommend it. It's one that I watched when I was like 14 and it made me incredibly anxious. I think nowadays if I were to watch it, I'd be like, this is very unrealistic. But there's a scene where the guy, he like records himself and he's committing crimes and stuff, broke into a woman's house while she was away and just like stayed there.
No, I don't like that at all.
Yeah, like hid in her closet when she came back and stuff.
Oh, that's horrifying. That
And
would
that's-
absolutely scared me as a kid. Yeah, it would scare me now, but...
But like that's what that made me think of, and it made my fucking skin crawl where I'm like,
Ugh, God, that's horrifying.
So, Officer Pat McBride was one of the people that was assigned to her case. Shortly after these harassment calls and investigations began, Pat and Cindy James began a romantic relationship.
Oh.
Yeah. So, Pat McBride had also recently gone through separation, so him and Cindy were able to connect and bond through that shared experience. And he shortly after moved into Cindy's apartment, which...
Okay.
I can't really say that I blame either of them for like making that connection. Although I have many questions about the ethics.
Yeah,
of
like was he
dating
still on the
somebody.
case? Because at that point you should not be on the case anymore.
I didn't see anything saying that he recused himself or
Okay.
removed himself from it, but I don't know.
Yeah, there's definitely some questions around that. It's like if
Yeah.
you dated your therapist or something, it's like
Right, exactly. It's just iffy. But like,
yeah.
I mean, that aside too, it probably is hard to see somebody going through something similar to what you're going through, like recently separated, and seeing that like reflection of yourself and those awful things that's happening to them. And I'm
Yeah.
sure it makes it really easy to be empathetic.
Yeah, you connect very easily at that point. You have a shared thing.
Yeah, maybe though, let's like consider the ethics.
Exactly, yeah.
Anyway, after moving in, Pat McBride saw Roy Makerpiece parked out back behind Cindy's apartment. He confronted Roy, who said he had nothing to do with her harassment. And Pat and Roy actually ended up bonding over their shared love for Cindy and would work together to try to find out who was harassing her.
Weird, but why was he parked there? What was he doing?
Exactly, right?
Why you just parked up behind your ex-wife's apartment?
Right? No idea.
Fishy.
Very strange. It is also weird, too, because they both report... They would hang out at the apartment and like would answer the phone instead of Cindy whenever people were calling at certain points because like they're harasser. They want to fucking confront him. They both report seeing the other person get a call and answer it and like confront somebody else, which makes it seem like, well, then it can't be Pat. It can't be Roy.
think
Unless
they were in a
maybe they're both
threesome?
lying. It's the 80s. I don't know what they're doing, all right?
Maybe. Just a little sharesies.
Romania is collapsing
Oh, yeah.
and Cindy is getting railed.
For both ends. I'm sorry.
Just like Romania. And meanwhile, David Bowie's doing... No, we're past
What a
that.
time to be alive.
No, we're past that at this point. This is 82. Bowie was sober by then.
Oh, man.
But the calls just kept going. So like I said, Pat would pick up the phone to try to intimidate the harasser, trying to get them to like say who they were. Never worked. And they later applied a tracer to Cindy's phone to see if they could find the source of the calls. But unfortunately, the calls were never really long enough to get a good record of where they were coming from. Neighbors began reporting hearing noises coming from Cindy's apartment when nobody was home.
Nope, don't like that at all.
Yeah, and another neighbor said that they saw a strange man standing outside the apartment just staring at the building.
No.
Yep. That same year, on Christmas, Cindy found a note at her door, and it simply said, "Merry Christmas," but it was paired with a photo. And the photo was of a woman's corpse underneath a medical sheet.
Fucking God.
Yeah.
I forgot about all of this, like these finer details.
Oh, yeah, no, because there's just so much, and it's absolutely crazy. But when I was going through all of this, like, I became very convinced that Roy Makepeace was the harasser, because he is a doctor, he's working at a hospital, which means the hospital likely has a morgue. He probably has access to go and take pictures of whatever. Yeah, he knows where she lives.
Somebody's got to either be like working in a funeral home, or I'm sorry, not a funeral home.
Yeah. Mortuary?
I guess mortuary, morgue. Yeah, working at a morgue or in a hospital or something. Like you don't just have access to a photo like that.
Yeah, unless it's staged or it's like a fucking screenshot from a movie, but I'm sure that they would have identified that by now if it was. So in January of 1983, so like a couple of weeks later, one of Cindy's coworkers show up to her house to check on Cindy. She arrives to find Cindy laying unconscious in her backyard with a nylon stocking wrapped around her neck. When Cindy regained consciousness, her colleague asked her what happened. Cindy said that she was attacked by a man with a knife who had appeared while she was walking to her garage. He forced Sydney into the garage, where another man had been waiting, and strangled her and sexually assaulted her with a knife.
Wait, so there were two men?
Yes, that's what she's saying.
Okay.
Cindy reported all of this to the police, and she was taken to the hospital, where no injuries reflecting this crazy story were found.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yep.
And she was unconscious when her friend found her? But she didn't have any injuries.
No, because she said that the guy sexually assaulted her with the knife. Like, they inserted the knife.
Yeah, so that would definitely have left a mark.
Yeah, but they found nothing. And that's not the kind of thing that I feel like a hospital would just not find.
Yeah. Okay.
So this is, like, nuts, right? Like, what happened? Maybe she got hit over the head. Maybe she misremembered. I mean, that's regardless a very fucking traumatic thing to occur.
But that seems like a strange thing to... Like, you'd think you'd fucking remember if somebody shoved a knife up your...
Yeah, but you also... I mean, memory is fallible, and
I guess.
It's really easy for people to invent memories.
Yeah.
So I'm very much of the opinion that, like, maybe something did happen. She doesn't remember exactly what. She remembered a knife, and she remembered being hurt in some way, but not those things together is what actually happened. We have no idea, because unfortunately, Cindy is passed away.
Right.
Murdered. Or died by suicide, one of the two.
Yeah.
We'll go with passed away.
Yeah. Yep, that sounds good.
Of unknown...
Is no longer with us.
Yeah. So while this was crazy, Cindy wasn't believed to be lying about everything. The lead detective on her case believed her to not be telling the whole truth of what happened, quote, in fear of herself and her family. Yeah, so they're like, obviously something did happen, but we don't know. And we don't know if she's lying or if she's withholding stuff, because there are details that she could give us that
could hurt
her or her family, or piss somebody off to hurt them more.
Okay.
In early 1983, so that same year, Cindy moved twice. And by April, she was already receiving new notes and new calls at her new address.
Ugh, this is so horrifying.
Since moving alone wasn't doing the trick to throw off her stalker, Cindy began hiring a private investigator to watch over her house. They had like a two-way radio set up and everything. And
I remember this part.
Yeah, she also repainted her car. She wore a portable panic button and carried pepper spray on her person. But nothing worked.
Wow.
Through the end of the year, the calls continued. She also found 3 dead cats that were obviously left there purposefully in her garden.
Oh my God.
They were strangled and bound with rope.
Oh my God.
Yes. It's crazy.
I truly forgot a lot of this stuff. It's been a while since I listened to this story.
It's all right. So in January of the next year, in 1984, great book, Ozzy Command, the PI Cindy had hired, received a frantic radio notification from Cindy. He rushed over to her home, finding the doors to be locked. He kicked in the door and found Cindy unconscious. A knife through her hand, which also had pinned a note to her reading, "Now you must die, cunt."
Whoa.
Like a knife through her hand. And that's kind of where, like, you fucking lost me. Like,
yeah.
I know that humans are capable of mutilating themselves and doing crazy things to themselves, but like...
But that's rough. That would make you pass out.
Well, she was found unconscious.
Right, but like, I don't think you'd be able to finish doing that. Like, I don't...
You gotta do it quick.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's just crazy. Like,
Oh my god.
So these attacks continued through the summer. She reported a man forcing his way into her home and assaulting her dog. Men pretending to be police officers arriving at her home. Notes and sexually explicit photos appearing in her residence. And more anonymous calls to her home and her place of work. So he's fucking expanding. In July of that same year, Cindy was found wandering aimlessly around her neighborhood with a stocking tied around her neck. She said that she had been attacked earlier that day by a man in a green van. Her dog was also found wandering around the neighborhood. It almost doesn't sound believable. Like,
Right.
It's happening so often. You're telling me there's nobody, like, it's just such a fucking crazy story.
It's happening so often, and she is reporting it. It seems wild that no one would have caught another person in the act. So, as much as you like want to believe her, there's a part of your brain that's like, is she telling the truth?
Right. There are also some other reports too where when the police were hanging around, not just Pat McBride, but like the other police officers, because I mean, they were basically running protection for her for a little bit when all of this stuff was really ramping up, that one of the police officers was like really weird and pushy and like pushed to try to sleep in the same bed as her.
Ew.
Yeah. So I also kind of wonder if, you know, maybe there's some corruption at play or people trying to hide things but once again, we have no idea. This is, there's just so many different variables and possibilities. And if you are still of the mindset that Cindy's ex-husband Roy is behind all of this, you're not alone. Cindy felt that way as well, as did some of the officers who were working on her case. One of the things she pointed to as evidence of his involvement was actually the dead cats. She said that during their marriage, her love of gardening was a big issue. Roy detested it and hated how much time she spent tending to her flowers and her plants.
How dare a girl have hobbies?
I know, right? And so she was like, well, he's putting the dead cats in my garden at this new place
As
to
like
try
a
to...
fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah. And while Cindy was in the hospital after the July attack, a mysterious man called the front desk asking about the hospital's security policies, which is really weird.
Yeah, that's a really weird call to make.
Right?
No.
Call the police immediately.
Yes.
For real. The receptionist who answered the phone call said that it sounded awfully a lot like Roy.
Okay.
Later this is where stuff kind of gets like even more off the wall bonkers. In 1984, Cindy went hypnotherapy to try to like uncover repressed memories to see if she could identify the person, because that's what they really thought was like an actual real like psychological tool was hypnotherapy. It's not. And instead, she admitted to being a witness to a double homicide perpetrated by Roy, her ex-husband. Authorities launched an investigation into this, but the story had basically no evidence and many plot holes. During this time, though, Cindy did try to commit suicide and at one point was committed to a psych ward. After she returned home, Cindy was met with continued harassment. Packages of rotting meat and stockings arrived to her house.
Ew.
Fires were started in the basement of her property.
Oh my god.
And the fucking calls just kept going. One call, though, did actually last long enough to be traced. And they were able to find out where it was coming from. Do you know where?
I don't remember.
Her house. She called her own number.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah, and the fires in her basement. A detective on the case, Gary Foster, believes that Cindy started them herself.
Whoa.
Cindy was also, at this time, assigned a psychologist to talk about this harassment case. When interviewed, the psychologist said that he believed her to have DID, colloquially known as multiple personality disorder. He believed that she was doing these acts to herself and was then filling in the gaps of her memory by claiming assault. He was quoted saying, "This woman was under siege from whatever source, inside or out."
Which is, I mean, that is a thing. Like,
Yeah.
that disorder is a legitimate thing.
It's just,
It seems unbelievable both ways.
yeah, it's buck wild is the best way that I can fucking put it. Like,
Yeah.
it's such a crazy story. This poor woman, she moved again at the end of 1985, where she was attacked again. She was found in a ditch more than 5 kilometers from her home. I did not translate that to American units because I'm not wasting my time.
How dare you not do European math for me?
I know, right? These fucking Canadians and their kilometers. Did you know canola oil is short for Canadian oil? Look it up. Canada oil.
What is Canada oil?
Canola oil.
strained from Canadians. They squeeze them out.
The scientists that made the genetic strain for canola plants for canola oil
Or Canadian.
were Canadian.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a derivative of the rapeseed plant.
Interesting.
And they were like, we don't want to name this rapeseed oil because of that name's awful. So they were like,
It
we're
is
gonna call
awful.
it Canada oil, canola.
Okay, well that's better.
Back to this horrible story. So Cindy, like I said, was found in a ditch more than 5 kilometers from her home. She had no memory of how she arrived at the location, and at this point began believing that the police thought that she was full of shit.
Mm-hmm.
In April of '86, Cindy had 2 people staying with her in her apartment because, for obvious reasons, she felt entirely unsafe.
Mm-hmm.
The 2 woke up to Cindy pacing in the house, saying she thought she heard something. One of the friends staying over found a fire in the basement, and the phone lines were cut. So when they went to go call the fire department to report it, they couldn't call out. They obviously evacuated the house and they ran out, and one of the friends saw a man watching from across the street.
I remember this.
He ran to confront the man, who then ran off, never to be seen again. After this incident, Cindy unfortunately began falling into a deep depression.
Mhm.
She spent 10 weeks in the hospital, admitting that these years of harassment caused her emotional distress, no fucking way,
Yeah.
and that she was afraid her friends and her families thought she was nuts or that she may be
Yeah.
making everything up.
Ugh.
When she got out of the hospital, she returned to harassment. Her porch lights would be unscrewed. Someone had cut a hole in her windows with a glass cutter, and the calls just kept happening.
I just can't even imagine this being your life.
I know, just constant,
Mhm.
every fucking day.
Mm-hmm.
Her ex-husband also began then receiving messages talking about Cindy as, quote, dead meat, insinuating that they were going to murder her. In 1989, Cindy was attacked and hogtied. The RCMP got involved, and they concluded at this point that she would not be able to do these types of knots to herself.
I was gonna say I don't think you can actually hog tie yourself.
Yeah.
That seems pretty impossible.
I have no idea if it is or not. We could find out.
Yeah, I guess we
You can
could.
go to Dick's Sporting Goods right now and get some rope.
We
and
could just use
boxing.
one of these giant USB cables that we have, honestly.
Well, but I want to get boxing gloves too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Then
we gotta-
let's go.
yeah.
Yeah.
So the RCMP decided, like I said, that she couldn't tie herself up.
Mhm.
So they kind of kicked things back up and started investigating again. They got dogs in there to try and sniff around, but the scent dogs were inconclusive. The dogs couldn't really agree on there being a scent trail, and the trail that was present didn't really lead anywhere.
Mm.
On May 25th, 1989, Cindy was set to play bridge with some friends. They arrived to her house to find it empty. Cindy was gone, as was her car. She was reported missing to the RCMP. That same night, they located her car, which was covered in blood. Her wallet was strewn about on the ground. 2 weeks later, her body was found.
Mm-hmm.
An autopsy was performed, and they found that Cindy had ultimately died of multiple drug intoxication from morphine, fluorazepam, and Valium. The fluorazepam and Valium were taken orally before the morphine was injected into her. The investigation into Cindy's death was long. It actually ended up being the longest inquest in British Columbia history, coming in at over 40 days.
Mm.
They interviewed over 80 of Cindy's friends and family to figure out what had gone on leading up to her death. Of note, Cindy's parents reported finding a large amount of sedatives in her apartment. Meanwhile, Cindy's sister found a glass cutter and syringe in her apartment.
Mm.
Which I think is kind of, they keep pointing to that to say like, oh, well, she had these items. Obviously, she did everything herself.
Mhm.
I think that's fucking bullshit because I think people can just leave stuff. They're
Yeah.
committing a crime. Oh, you're going to fucking rush out because you see neighbors are looking into the house. You're going to fucking grab your glass cutter. You're just going to leave it.
Right.
Same with a syringe.
Right.
One time use.
Well, and like also, maybe even she could have had those pills and someone still could have given her them,
Right.
or maybe she took the pills already, but then still had the
Yeah.
morphine injected. Like,
Yeah, right. Like there's so many different options of how this
Yeah.
could have gone down.
Mhm.
Ultimately, the cause of Cindy's death is still unknown to this day.
yeah,
There are no leads. A harasser was never identified. And honestly, I doubt we will ever know who did this to Cindy.
I know.
But that is unfortunately the story of Cindy James' harassment and her murder or suicide.
Thank you. That was really well done.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's one of those stories that like still kind of like frustrates me to this
Oh,
day because
yeah.
we'll never really know. And I feel equally conflicted about whether or not she could have done this to herself and whether or not it was done to her. Like, there's possibilities. There's so many possibilities. Like,
And I wonder if maybe there's room for both, right? Because
yeah,
if you have people if I'm at your house and I'm sitting on the couch with you it's impossible, from what I understand, physically, for you to call your own house phone line when I'm literally like staring at your hands.
Right.
Unless you have some crazy fucking mental powers that I have unknown knowledge of.
Yeah.
Do you?
I don't have a house phone.
Fuck. Right? But like,
Yeah.
so somebody probably was actually calling her. And I can't imagine. I mean, granted, if somebody is suffering from multiple personality disorder and they have like two very, very different personalities, I just can't imagine her killing cats and then tying them up and putting them into her garden.
It's pretty out there.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty intense. Usually when people have, I say this like I know, but like my understanding of people that have multiple personality disorder, it's genuinely just like other personalities.
Yeah.
Like they're just other people. It seems strange for you to go from like a nice caring nurse to a animal killing psychopath.
Right.
Like,
and in the event that maybe she didn't have multiple personality disorder, there would be so many other signs. Like you, for the most part, unless you suffer like a major stroke or brain trauma, you don't just wake up and start murdering cats.
yeah, that's just such a big jump. Like it seems like there's no way, like maybe there's family members that know more and they didn't say anything, but like it just seems very far-fetched.
Yeah.
But also like, you know, if it is another person doing this to her, how did it go on for so long with so much instances of different things happening and nothing, like no one ever even got close to being caught?
Yeah. That's why I brought up like the police thing. There are some people that think that it was a police officer and that he was just right under the radar because he would know if they were doing patrol rounds.
Wouldn't be the first fucking time.
Yeah. But I mean, we will likely never know.
Yeah, I could see that being a very viable, like,
Yeah. Possibility.
Yeah.
There's a possibility.
There's a possum in the tea.
Why is it in the tea?
It's a shitposting one.
Oh, I don't think I saw that one. I'm sorry.
It was someone that was like, English isn't my first language, and I always thought they were saying there's a possum in the tea.
Oh, yeah.
That was really good. Thank you.
Yeah, thank
I
you
liked
for
both of
listening.
those together, actually. I genuinely was like, should I do this story
That's really
for
fucking
this episode?
funny.
Yeah, and then I opted out, but that would have been crazy.
So one day that will happen.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
so.
until my ban on radiation stuff has been lifted, I'm gonna have to really like, dude, it is crazy because you said that, and I was like, I have so many topics, and then I looked and I was like, oh my god, half of my lists are stories that I've heard things from that are all.
But I mean, it's close to your line of work, so you've heard more about
Yeah.
that stuff, so it makes sense. You can lift the ban now if you need to.
No, I think I'm gonna do one on a video game next time.
Ooh, but I thought about doing that. Don't
That
steal it.
sucks. You do one on radiation, then I'll do one on a video game.
I'm gonna do one on radiation, and I'm gonna like slightly make things a little bit wrong the entire time.
And I'll just be sitting here because I have enough knowledge to know something's wrong, but I don't have enough to really tell you, hey, you're fucked up, you know? So I'll just kind of like sit here and I'll squint my eyes and I'll be like,
Big corrections corner there.
oh yeah.
No, I don't feel super comfortable doing a radiation one because you do them so well because it makes sense for you to do them well. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's your job.
Yeah, I found a really cool story. I'll tell you about it after the podcast that
Okay.
I forgot about. And I was like, oh, that's awful to think. We need to end this episode, I think.
No, I
We're
don't
just
think
kind
so.
of rambling.
Let's keep going forever and ever and ever. So Haley and I started we use the Google Keep to share notes between each other for show notes to make sure we cover stuff. And I sent it to her and I was like, hey, here's the first notes. She was like, all right, I added something. And it said pee pee poo poo case.
Yeah, I mean, it's important.
The case of the pee pee poo
It's
poo.
very important.
Yeah. That's a daily case for most of us, I think.
One or the other, usually.
Yeah, at least one or the other.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you don't have either, then got
Go
a
to a
problem.
doctor.
Yeah, definitely see somebody about that.
But yeah, thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening, keeping it weird with us. That was definitely a weird one. I
Yeah.
enjoyed the weirdness there.
I agree, and I think this was a nice length of episode, although we keep fucking rambling. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be
Let's talk about more. All right. Keep on making it weird. Goodbye.
If you liked our episode, please leave us a review on Spotify or wherever you listen to your favorite shows. And don't forget to follow us on social media. We're on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Threads at Make It Weird Pod. Got something weird you want to share with the world? Send it over to us at makeitweirdpod@gmail.com. Thanks for listening to Make It Weird. Bye!